Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about quite a few new makeup items. We have a bunch of the new Dior eyeliners. So these are currently available at Selfridges. They should be available in the US very soon. We also have a few of the Pat McGrath new Mega Lip Pencils, the Haus Lab blushes, and the Natasha Denona concealer. I know that one's not super new, but I've been trying that one for the last probably about 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know, however long it's been since right before the Sephora sale. I picked that up actually like a week or two before the Sephora sale. So I've been using that on and off since then. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with that concealer. So this here's the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. And I have shade RN1, and it is a little light. This works kind of more as a brightening concealer for me. The deeper shade I was trying to get had been out of stock for a while, so then I just ended up just caving and getting it. But, you know, this concealer actually reminds me a lot of the Pat McGrath concealer. So just something to note consistency-wise. We'll talk about that in just a second. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump straight to the demos and details. So we have quite a few different demos here because, as I said, I've been trying this out for quite a while. This is the High Glam Brightening and Hydrating Medium to Full Coverage Crease Proof Serum Color Corrector. Super long name. It retails for $30 US. As I mentioned, I have shade RN1, and we have a 1-year shelf life on here. There are 7 milliliters of product, and it's made in Italy. And according to Natasha Denona, it's good for dark circles. It's supposed to be long wearing. Again, we have medium to full coverage for your finish with a hydrating feeling. So this concealer has a 1-year shelf life, 7 milliliters of product, and is made in Italy. And as I mentioned, I have shade RN1. And according to Natasha Denona, this is a game-changing concealer that has a full performance formula and advanced skincare properties. We have medium coverage. Again, it can be built up to full coverage with a natural finish. And they have, a few different, highlighted ingredients like the botanical stem cell actives, which are powered by a trio of actives. Not much information there. It is free of parabens, mineral oil. It's vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. In addition, it says this is a long-lasting creaseless concealer with a natural medium buildable coverage and luminous matte finish. The High Glam Correcting Concealer is made with biomimetic pigments and texture perfecting microspheres for flawless airbrushed results with a weightless natural look and supremely flexible feel. I have to say, they do have a pretty decent shade range here. There are quite a few shades in this concealer, a lot. And I think it is a nice concealer. It's a little finicky, just like the Pat McGrath was when I first used it. You really want to go in with less product. So actually in today's demo, I feel like the one I used a little bit too much product. And if you do use too much, then I do experience creasing. So it's best to go in with the tiniest amount of product possible, pat that on or use a brush and pat it on that way, but you want to just put on a little bit. You can always layer it for more coverage, but definitely less is more with this concealer. So consistency wise, it has a medium thickness to it. And I would say, as I mentioned, the Pat McGrath concealer feels the most like this concealer to me. The Pat McGrath, however, is, I believe, a little bit thicker. I don't have it any longer, but from my recollection, that was just a slightly thicker formula. And coverage wise though, again, with both of them, you really want to use, the least amount of product possible, and you can definitely build it up to full coverage. Now, from my recollection, the Pat McGrath didn't have quite as much luminosity as this one does. So this one is a little bit more luminous. And I think it's a nice concealer. I kind of went up and down on this. When I first tried it, I was like, it's okay. Then I really liked it. And then I was like, I don't really love this one. And I think I've kind of averaged out to thinking it's a nice concealer for times when you really have, deep circles that you want to correct. But again, just use less is more. So let me know if you've tried this. I'd love to know your thoughts on the concealer. And again, this is shade RN1. And let me just give you a couple of swatch comparisons. This is the Valentino in LIGR2. This is my go-to concealer, but this really has much more of a light coverage formula here. It's going to be light and brightening, so it does not offer that much coverage. I did not get much sleep last night, so I wanted something a little bit more full coverage today. This is the Gucci in 11C Fair. This, in my opinion, is just kind of like an average concealer, but you can see the difference. The RN1 from Natasha Denona has a lot more white in it. So the Valentino is more peach. This it's a little bit more beige, but it's like an ivory shade. And then I also want to take a look at the Surratt in shade number 1. So this one here is going to be shade number 1, which is also going to be light and bright. Now this has a thinner texture. It has, it's a little bit more aqueous in texture. So it kind of sinks into your skin a little bit more. You have lighter coverage that is buildable. So the formula itself is going to be a bit thinner, and you can see this is going to be much more of a stark white in comparison. So overall, my final thoughts on the Natasha Denona concealer, I think it's a nice concealer. If you're looking for something medium to full coverage, it's a nice option, and there is a pretty extensive shade range. Just remember to use less product than you might with another brand. Let's move on to the Haus Lab blushes. So these are the new Color Fuse Glassy Blush Bombs, and I picked up 2 of these. So let me just show you the packaging here. It is going to be a click closure. This is the amount of product that you get in here. It is a twist up product. And this one here is the shade Glassy Lilac. So let's go ahead and demo these in just a second. So you can see that it is going to be, just a glossy cheek balm essentially. So the other one I picked up is Glassy Hibiscus. So this is, I think, more of a great everyday shade on my cheeks right now, and you'll see in the demos. I have the Glassy Hibiscus back here with the Glassy Lilac just on the apples. So these are the 2 shades that I grabbed, Lilac and Hibiscus. Let's move on to the demos and details. The Haus Labs by Lady Gaga Color Fuse Glassy Blush Bombs have 5 grams of product. There's an 18-month shelf life, and these are made in Korea. These are, according to them, created with kindness, clean, cruelty-free, and vegan. Now, a few more details from the brand. This is a serum-based high pigment blush with more than 70% skincare and proprietary complexes that hydrate and make skin look plumper, all in a long-wearing glassy balm. So they have a few highlighted ingredients such as fermented arnica, the goji berry complex, and so forth. Additionally, this was born as a skincare serum stick. This blush delivers high-performance color, while goji berry complex makes skin look more plump, and fermented arnica visibly reduces redness and irritation. This cream blush stick immediately boosts skin hydration by more than 62%. There are currently 8 shades available, and I don't see any added fragrance in the list of ingredients, and there's really no strong scent. You perhaps might be able to pick up a few of the oils and so forth that make up this complex, but nothing strong or fragranced. The texture of this is going to be a glassy balm, so it is named appropriately. It also reminds me kind of like a stick form of the Tower 28 blushes. So if you've tried any of those products, it has kind of that texture that feels, there's a little bit of tackiness to it. It's not really sticky per se, but you can still feel the product on your skin. It never truly sinks in 100% of the way. So you can feel a little bit of that. And because of the texture of this, you can actually shift your base product if you use this stick directly on your skin. So, just some things to know. Application will be important to get a nice smooth finish with this. And it does stay put pretty much all day. It will fade for me by the end of the day, but it stays put pretty much all day. But there is still going to be a little bit of that product that you can feel on your skin. It's not sticky enough for my hair to stick to it or anything like that. But if I do go and like touch my face, I can feel the texture there. And that's going to help, you know, give it some of that shine throughout the day. Now, personally, it says it is plumping. I don't notice any plumping, but who's to say that somebody else doesn't? So overall, I think is a nice blush balm, but it's nothing special. So I do really like the colors, and I think it's fun for summer. I wouldn't say it's like incredibly long wearing. It will last most of the day without fading, but it will fade for me by the end of the day. So I do not have full day wear with it. Overall though, I think this is a nice fun product for summer. It has some nice colors. It's hydrating. It gives you a nice fresh look. And again, yeah, I just think if you're going for, like for me at least, you know, if I'm going to be outside a lot during the day for summer, I will wear something that I don't necessarily need all day wear, that's perhaps more fun, something like this. And I think this is something that fits that bill perfectly. So overall, I think it's a nice blush stick, just nothing special. Don't expect all day wear with it. So one more time with the shades, we have the Glassy Lilac and the Glassy Hibiscus. And I would definitely pick up both of these shades again. I do personally really like them. The Glassy Lilac is definitely more of a pink with a little bit of a blue base than a true lilac. It's not really a purple shade at all. And then the Hibiscus is more of a kind of like a rosy nude kind of shade. So let me just do a few swatch comparisons. So this here is the Milk Makeup Stick in Splash. And this has much more of a watery feel that kind of sinks into the skin. But the actual product itself going onto the skin feels similar to me. However, the Haus Labs just has like a stickier, thicker kind of consistency to it. This is the Basma blush shade in the shade Mauve. And I went to see how this one compared to the Glassy Hibiscus. They are pretty close. So you can see Glassy Hibiscus is ever so slightly warmer. There's a little bit more peach in there, but these colors are very, very similar, and they'll give you a similar look on the skin, but the Haus Labs has a bit more of a shine to it, a bit more of a sheen than the Basma. Another one I wanted to take a look at is the new Tom Ford in Cafe Blush. And I love this shade. This has become like a kind of a go-to for me, and you can see that this is going to be similar. These three shades are all, you know, kind of in the same family. The Tom Ford has perhaps just a touch of terracotta mixed in there compared to the others, but it's such a subtle difference between these. So I do think, you know, it's a good alternative. And this is the Chanel #1 in #3 Vital Beige. Let's go ahead and put this one down here. This is going to be deeper. This also has kind of that glossy texture and consistency. This is going to be a lot creamier though, which is, you know, one of the reasons it's in a pot and not a stick. So a little bit of a difference, but again, similar texture on the skin for the two of these formulas. And then this is the Haus Labs blush in Lavender Blonde. This is the powder blush. And this came out a couple years ago. You can see shade-wise, these are similar. The powder blush actually does have a little bit more lavender in it, while the glassy stick has more pink. So those are just a few comparisons. I hope those are helpful. Let's go ahead and move on to the Dior eyeliners. All right, so for the Dior eyeliners, these are the new Dior Show Stilos. And they are currently available at Selfridges. They have said coming soon for a month or over a month now on the Dior website. So hopefully those will be popping up soon. So I ordered 6 of these from Selfridges. And unfortunately I missed the lilac one, which I really want. So when that comes to the US, I will get that. But let me show you the packaging here. So we do have a click closure. This is a twist up product. And then down here we have a little smudge thing. So just a little smudger at the end. So when you pull this end off for the smudger, you can also pull off this here, and you got a little sharpener here. So just showing you that. And yeah, so this will be the product here for the eyeliner. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and swatch these here. And Oops, just broke my tip. I went too hard there at the end. This here is going to be Pearly Gold. So this is going to be number, what number is this one? Well, I'll put the numbers on the screen with the little reel of these in natural light so you can kind of see what everything looks like there. And then we also have Pearly Silver. So these are the two pearly shades I picked up. And I'm going to be going this direction now. There we go. So that's Pearly Silver. So you can see that the Pearly Gold is going to be kind of like a peachy gold. Pearly Silver is kind of a true silver. It's not too blue. It's not too gray. And then we also have the Matte Mint, which I have on my eyes right now, along with the Chanel Lumiere de l'Océan highlighter. And I also have Pearly Silver on the lower lash line. So that is Matte Mint. And then we have, I found the numbers on here. They're written down here in the actual color swatch. So this one here is 61 Matte Gray. And this is going to be a deep gray. And you can see here that it is a nice charcoal. But a lot of times we see charcoals that lean a little blue. This one actually leans a little brown. So you can see kind of like a brownish purple hue in the matte gray. And then we have Matte Brown, which is number 781. And this is just a really nice, deep kind of cocoa brown here. And the last one I picked up was the Matte Purple, number 176. This is kind of like your eggplant. And I like this. Sometimes we see these matte purples, like the new YSL ones, that look more red. This is really a nicely balanced, true purple shade. It's not too blue. It's not too red. So these are the ones I picked up. Pearly Gold, Pearly Silver, Matte Mint, Matte Gray, Matte Brown, and Matte Purple. So let's take a look at the demo here for these. And I've actually been testing these out for about 5 or 6 days now. So these eyeliners retail for $34 US, and according to Dior, they have 24-hour wear. They're waterproof with intense color, a creamy texture, and smooth glide. And it says that they offer transfer-proof color in a collection of matte and pearly finishes. Create any number of eye looks, including the signature Dior Smoky Eye. The ultra-precise retractable pencil is equipped with a smudger for easy use, sharpener included. So as I mentioned, I've been wearing these for 5 or 6 days, and you can see in today's demo that I have a little bit of silver left, like right against the waterline. So if you put it directly on the waterline where it's actually wet, it's not going to stay. You know, you need a dry surface for it to adhere to, but it will stay and last for like all day right against the waterline, which is why I wanted to show you there, because that is actually something I put on, you know, like early in the morning. I get up pretty early to do all the school stuff, and then I get through, and you know, it's like 7 hours or so after I put that on. But while I had that on, I also just washed my face and showered with the eyeliner on the waterline just there. And you can see how it lasted through that. Now, I did not use an eye makeup remover because I was just, you know, I just use a regular face cleanser. So just wanted to show you, when you do use a regular eye makeup remover, the eyeliner comes off with no issue. So that's how well it lasts. So it really is a nice performing eyeliner. And I have to say, the last Dior eyeliners, they were not very good. They were hit or miss. Some of them were okay, but some of them were just so dry, and they would skip, and they would dry out shortly after you bought them and fall out of the container. So far, no issues with any of these. They feel very creamy. They all go on nicely. I'm really happy with these so far. They tend to perform well. They lasted all day for me without any fading or smudging. And I'm really happy with the eyeliner. So I think the new Dior liners are a win. We will see, you know, in a few months whether anything has started to dry up. But overall, I think these are definitely a pleasant change from the previous version. So let's take a look at those shades one more time here. So we have Pearly Gold, Pearly Silver, Matte Mint, Matte Gray, Matte Brown, and Matte Purple. So let's go ahead and move on to our last item for the day. The new Pat McGrath. These are her Dramatique Mega Lip Pencils. Now, I have always loved the lip pencils from Pat McGrath, so I couldn't wait to try these. And we're going to put these right underneath the eyeliners. And here is Nude Venus. So you can buy these individually or in duos, which I did, or like a whole set. You know, they have a variety of set options, but I picked up the duos because the 4 shades I wanted happened to be available as 2 duos. So this one here is Divine Rose. And I did want to show you, I actually kind of broke a bit of my tip originally. So I wanted to test out the sharpeners to see, because, you know, they do sell their own sharpener. It works in a standard mega sharpener, but I just wanted to show you the difference in the height after sharpening it. So just something to note there in case that interests you. And then the other 2 shades I have were Mauve, was it Mauve Moiselle or something? Oh yeah, Mauve Moiselle. And this is going to be more of a soft, it's got a little bit of purple in it, but it's really more of a purpley rose. And you can see the Divine Rose is actually a little bit warmer in pink than I thought. The Nude Venus is a pretty neutral peach, kind of a nude peach. And then the shade that's on my lips right now is Belle Amour, which is going to be more of a fuchsia berry. So we've got Nude Venus, Divine Rose, Mauve Moiselle, and then Belle Amour. So those are the 4 I picked up. Let's talk about these while we look at the lip swatches. So the lip pencils come in 12 shades. They retail for $29 US each. But again, if you buy them as a duo or a set of some type, there are better prices. For example, the duo was $52 US. Now, just a few details. These are made in Italy with an 18-month shelf life, and we have 2.4 grams of product. According to Pat McGrath, we have versatile application, intense color pigments. It's a luxuriously comfortable texture with a matte finish, and these are vegan and cruelty-free. It says, uniting the performance of a lipstick with the convenience of a pencil, the slim tip allows you to define, shade, and shape the lips, or to explore boundary-pushing lip designs from soft and blurred to bold and surreal. Available in 12 vivid and vibrant shades, each color stands out on its own or can be combined to create dynamic, multi-dimensional lip looks. Despite its weightless feel, the long-lasting, non-drying formula ensures luxurious comfort while delivering opulently bold color and a lush matte finish. And they recommend using their own sharpener. But as I mentioned, I did test it on just like a random jumbo pencil sharpener, and that worked well. And I also tested it with the Byredo jumbo sharpener that comes with their eye cajoles, and that also fit just fine. So just a note there in case you already have one. So as for the texture of these, when they go on, they feel very silky and smooth, almost like a silicone kind of texture, like there's that much glide. They go on super easily. They feel very weightless. And then in about a minute or so, they will set and they give you a matte finish. They feel completely weightless on the lips. You don't feel like you have anything on there. Sometimes when you have these weightless products, you can still feel things starting to dry out. And at least for me, I like to have some sort of emollient texture. So I always feel the need to add like lip balm or anything. I have to say, I can go a lot longer with these without adding anything or noticing. So I think these are great. I've been wearing these for a few days now. I received them over the weekend. So I've been testing them out since then. And I have to say, these are a fantastic lip crayon. They're not what I expected originally, because I was looking for, I'm always on the hunt for something like the Sisley lip crayons, which are more of a satin glossy kind of texture on the lips. They do have a matte version as well, but I particularly look for the satin version. So I was thinking these might be kind of like a creamy version of her original lip pencils. They're not. They are completely different, but I have to say they're fantastic. So I really love these new lip pencils, or lip crayons as I like to call them. And I have to say, I've worn these while eating Chinese food, and yeah, you know, I did perhaps have a little transfer. They're not like 100% transfer proof or anything like that, but they wore evenly. And when you're eating like greasier foods like that, a lot of times, you know, you'll get kind of that circle in the middle of your lips, you know, where it wears a little bit stronger. where the oil hits it. And I didn't have that issue. Everything wore very evenly. I still have pigment at the end of the day. I have to say I'm really impressed with these. And if you do want a glossy look, add a little lip gloss on top. But these are very versatile, very easy to use. I think these are definitely like something that I would consider like leaving in my purse or traveling with, because they're very easy to use. You've got some great colors here as well. So I'm a big fan of these Pat McGrath lip crayons. So let me know if you've tried them. I'd love to know your thoughts on them as well. So one more time, let's just take a quick look at the shades. We have Nude Venus, Divine Rose, Mauve Moselle, and Belle Amour. And I have to say, I really like them. My favorite is the Mauve Moselle. That one is definitely my favorite. So that one, and I think maybe the Nude Venus. I think that's just such a classic color from her as well. So let's just do a quick summation of everything we spoke about here today. And we start off with the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, and I have shade RN1. I think this is a nice medium to full coverage concealer. Less is more. So this is something that, some people will really love. If you don't need a lot of coverage, this is probably not the best concealer option for you. But if you do want something a bit more buildable and you're looking for something to cover dark circles, definitely this is a good option. Just use a tiny bit, and you can always layer more on if you want more coverage. But I do think it is a nice option. There's an expansive shade range there. Then we moved on to the Haus Labs. These are the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balms, and I think these are a nice blush balm. They're a nice cheek product, fun to use for the summer. They're not particularly long wearing. They are a little sticky. If you're not paying attention, you can actually move your base products when you're putting this on. So they definitely do have some cons, but they're fun to play with. So if you're looking for something, fun for like a beach shade this summer, this might be a good alternative, a good option to look at. But again, they're not going to be best for all day wear on a regular basis, in my opinion. Then we moved on to the Dior eyeliners, which I am really enjoying. So we have the pearly gold, the pearly silver, the matte mint, matte gray, matte brown, matte purple. And I think these are great. They are creamy to go on. They do set down. They stay put. They last all day, and they hold up really well. So performance is there so far. Our previous version did have an issue of drying out pretty quickly. So we'll see how these go, over a long-term basis. But so far, so good. And I'm really happy with the consistency of the formula. Then we just moved on to the Pat McGrath new lip crayons, and I love these. I didn't realize they were a matte finish originally, but I really like it because it's not drying, it's comfortable, you have impactful color, easy to use, and the Mauve Moselle shade has stolen my heart out of the ones that I picked up. So I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to know if you've tried any of these. Please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.